Hello everyone, this is Carmen
And Moises.
and you listen to Yoga Burn. So we're back to like
Video.
video format.
Because we like to make up our minds. That's
No,
basically
but
it.
I think it's
We are on a mission. We said this is how we do it, and we like this is the plan, and we just like go ahead and do it.
we're connecting more. We're connecting more with the audience.
Yeah, no.
I think people like it more. People like it more.
Yeah, they like to see
it more.
me. They like to see me.
To see us.
I understand why.
To see us.
Yeah.
Anyway, the title of today's podcast is
I need a churro.
How to overcome burnout.
Churro.
So that's for you.
That
That's
is the extent of my contribution to the podcast today.
How to overcome burnout when you're teaching, or even, mostly when you're teaching, but also when you're practicing.
But is it like during the class itself, like through the class, you just want to leave? kind of burnout? Or is it like
it's
during
happened.
the week? Like it's like, I want to go teach again.
It's more like a philosophical question.
Like during the class. It's like
you-
I do not want to keep teaching these assholes.
Your life.
I am done with them.
Your life. You're done teaching, or
So
you
glad
feel
the room has no windows.
very.
I would jump out of one. That kind of
It
feeling.
it feels like
Setting the mood.
very much when you are teaching for a long time.
Yeah.
It feels like it feels very repetitive, and like it's a job. It's not a hobby or something that you love to do anymore. It's something that you just have to do it. I think part of the pressure is we put pressure on it because you have to make money out of it. So if you make it more a hobby, like I'm teaching 2 classes a week or 4 classes a week because I love it and for the sake of it, and there's no expectations, then I think you last longer than if you make it a profession, your career, and you want to teach 18 classes, 20 classes, 25 classes a week, whatever. And it's really hard to manage and really hard to maintain that freshness and that spirit when you teach, And I mean, me myself,
How many times have you been burned out?
Many times.
How did you overcome it?
Like, and there's doors of just on the verge of just quitting, and you say, I just cannot do this anymore. And so I have a few
You have
tips.
tricks?
A few tips.
Go for them.
That you can do.
So 1 second, not before. Why do you think the burnout happens? Because it's too much work? Because the tension of the money? Is that the only reason?
In part, I think is the repetitiveness of the business itself and the classes themselves. I cannot imagine because I've never done it, but I don't know how it would be to teach like the same class with the same script like some people do, like in Bikram, or the same series in Ashtanga, the same 2 series, or because let's face it, most people don't go up the second series, so you're always stuck teaching the same things and the same asanas over and over. And even if those cases I don't even know how they can handle it, but for me it was just it became very tedious and very boring to just try to do the same things over and over and explain. How many times can you explain crow pose without feeling like it's something that you've done so many times already, and just trying to keep it alive and keep the spirit of it alive, but it's just challenging to do that. I think that is, as a teacher, one of the most difficult things to do, like to maintain that edge of freshness and just spontaneousness.
That's the one.
Spontaneity.
I understand.
Spontaneity or whatever, yeah. But being more spontaneous, right? And just being more fresh and alive in the class. We've all been to classes that people are just very dull, and it seems very scripted, and just it seems like they're very bored with the class. It's the worst. I would walk out of those classes. I'm like, okay, if it's boring for you, then it's boring for me. So then
But you are the teacher in this scenario.
And I am attending the class.
You're the student.
I am the student. So when I am teaching, I try to make it entertaining as well. So it has to sound exciting and interesting and just, wow, let's see what happens. Because otherwise, it's
But I mean,
boring.
it has to be those things genuinely. Those things. Because if you're faking them, eventually you say,
Absolutely.
I cannot fake this shit anymore.
Absolutely. You're right.
So is it, because I think it's tied to being creative. Do you think it's tied to being creative, the ability to keep it non-burned out, like fresh, like in whichever way the creativity, because I mean the creativity may be I like my sequence, creativity may be I like to see different people, I like to solve different problems, I like my music and I put different music.
Right.
I mean I dress up, I don't give a shit how you make it creative. How it works for you, it works for you, good for you. I mean, but I think that the problem with the burned out with so many classes and stuff is because there's no space for creativity anymore.
True.
You working. When you're not working, you're so tired that you just have to recover. You don't have space to imagine the next class a little bit, or what I would like to do, or what am I learning lately that I would like to incorporate in my class. Can I tell them something new that is exciting for me, right? So that creativity, that you need space for that. You want to keep growing or something. I mean, so you need to keep interested in the field.
Absolutely.
So if you one day comes in and you say, I don't care about this whole thing anymore. I am about cooking now. I want to become a chef.
Right.
You should just go. I mean, do whatever thing is most exciting to you. So we are under the assumption that you're burnt out, but you're still excited to some extent teaching the classes.
Right.
I mean, you would like
you still love the practice.
Exactly.
You still love yoga, etc.
So
you are on the verge. What I call on the verge. If once you cross the line, there's a line. You're like, I cannot do this anymore. Then I think you're beyond redemption. Nothing can save you. It's too late. Like you're a terminal patient. You really are. It's over for you.
Done.
You can't do this anymore. But there's many signs before, luckily for us, that you can assess and you can say, I think, I'm not as happy, I'm not as motivated anymore, I don't like this as much anymore, and what do I do, right? And the creativity aspect that you mentioned is actually very important. And that's why one that I recommend, one trick. I'm going to give you several, three or four or five.
Oh, wow, okay.
But number one is to still, I know you hear that all the time, but you still have to maintain a personal practice. I'm not sure if you can do it every day or every other day. Ideally, every other day, at least. And it doesn't have to be 3 hours or, just some time that you can recharge, but also experiment with some ideas that you may have, or you may have seen, or you may have studied, or, and play with that. Because if you want to change your repertoire a little bit and just focus more on this week, we're going to focus more on the wrists, we're going to focus more on the knees, or we're going to do more chanting, whatever it is that moves you, then find some time within your personal practice to experiment with that, play with that, and then next day that you go teaching, you're going to see that infuses a lot of energy into your class. So as much as you may think this is a waste of time because I'm not making money, I hear that all the time, but people say, well, I'm not making money, so then I'd rather go teach another class and make another $100 or another private and make another X amount of money rather than investing in my own practice because that's not generating any income.
They say that?
Yes, many people.
I didn't know that.
And it's actually counterproductive. It's not. You need that time for yourself. It's very important, it really is.
I mean, they will make more money in the short term, but they will last less time.
Exactly.
I mean, they will not make money
long term
in the long term. Long term, you need the space.
Yeah.
You need the personal space, the head space, the mental space, the recovery space. You need space for the thing to breathe, for your body to breathe, for your soul to breathe, or something, whatever you want to call it. If you're like maxed out, you can only hold it for so long. Otherwise, that I think is where it comes from. I mean, because even if you, all the problems, like the financial too, I mean, if you are having really a hard time and making ends meet and stuff, find a second job or find a different, or don't quit your regular job 100%. Make it like 50-50, or figure out how to, I don't know, because many times it's like, I am doing whatever it is I'm doing with my life. I'm tired of my job. I'm going to go teach yoga.
Right.
And you make the step 100% boom, right? That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Period.
It is very challenging, especially in this day and age. I mean,
you take the small steps, right? And then you try it out. And if you were burnt out in your previous job, chances are you will bring the exact same mindset to the next job.
Yeah.
And you will become burnt out in the next job.
Yeah.
So, and because you keep thinking that the problem is outside. It is the job, it is my boss, it is the market situation, it is society, it is my parents, it is my dog. Your dog is never the problem. But it is the neighbor's dog that can be the problem.
Yeah.
The motherfucker doesn't stop barking, right? So somebody else's problem.
Right.
Then you go, after blaming something else, go to the next scenario in your own life, and you end up exactly the same place that you were in the first one because you haven't changed. So the problem of the burned out is some kind of belief or attitude or perspective you have.
Yeah.
The burned out is telling you that you want to change something in your head.
Exactly. So that's what I always say is like, you have to change something. So something very simple to do is, because many people start teaching because they love to practice yoga, and then they end up not practicing yoga and teaching too much. And so they have no time for their practice. I'm like, you have to go back to that idea. And also, number two, like, for example, like you go do some training or workshops and things that move you, motivate you, whatever it is. Maybe it's something that you take it, you're like, oh, this was a waste of time, but at least you tried and you got some information out of that, and now you know what you don't like and what you don't want to pursue. So that would be the worst case scenario, which it normally is not.
Yeah.
Like normally you get
you're gonna
something
take your
like,
time choosing.
I like it. I mean, it's not something that perhaps I will do it forever, but I'm going to extract some of that, incorporate that into my teaching and all that. So
yeah.
I think that also motivates you so much. And if it's something, I don't know, let's say that you're doing handstands and you do like a handstand intensive, or you're doing, asanas, or you're doing breath work and you're doing a breath work intensive, and it will infuse a lot more ideas and energies into what you're teaching already. So when you come back, you just come back fully renovated, and you may have been gone for 4 days, 5 days, a week, whatever, 2 weeks, but when you come back, it's night and day. And you do that for yourself to feed your soul, and then share that with others as well. So that is also, it seems like it's a waste of time or money that I'm not doing. I'm not paying the bills, I'm not teaching classes, but it is so precious. It will also gonna last much, much longer when you do that. I mean, I definitely, even myself, I try to, and the longer you teach, the more you have to do that, I think. Take those breaks and find that time to work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're kind of set on a path that is really hard to walk away from, so you need to find that time, to just get more information, more education, more anything, be always very curious, because you can never know everything, and even if the smallest thing you think that you control, you don't know everything about it. The more knowledge you acquire, the more you realize you know very little of everything. So it's very interesting. I love to go see how another person teaches and how this other style, or how this other school of handstands, or I don't know, it just kind of like always is very intriguing and very fascinating. And this breath work workshop, you name it, I'm all up for that, because it just enriches so much my perspective, and I know for a fact that I'm going to feel very motivated and very inspired, and I'm going to distill some of those ideas and incorporate that into my teaching. There's 100% chance that will happen. It's going to happen, and I love that. It's
nice,
very, very fulfilling.
Nice.
So what do you want to?
I mean, I keep coming to the mindset, right? Because all the things that you do, you go take trainings, you go take your time off, you go do your practice, you go do that, right? So all those things will help you for a while be more grateful, for example, right?
Yeah, for example.
So we are using tricks. I mean, you're using tricks, and that we call a training, a personal practice, to eventually help you change a little bit your mindset, your attitude towards what you're doing. And it may be the situation that the time for you to keep teaching is over. I mean, I understand that. I mean, and for some people, the burnout will be a sign from your own psyche or from your spirit guides, or however you understand life, good for you, that it may be time to move on, right?
Right.
But there will be, for many other people, I think, that they were so happy when they started, right? And they got themselves into a situation where there's no chance of enjoying anymore. And the situation itself puts them in a wrong state of mind where they are not allowing themselves to enjoy it anymore.
True.
Right? So we are always tricking our own head to learn to enjoy what we have in front of us, right? So we learn to enjoy it by practicing, by learning from others, by reading book and trying some things, by experimenting and by taking trips and getting, who knows, right?
Yeah, by journaling and saying,
exactly.
I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. Yes.
So the 1 second fix is change your attitude, but that is the hardest thing, right?
Oh my God, you always get so philosophical.
Always like that. You tell me.
Get so
or that, or a churro. You have two options with me. There's no in between. Either you change your mind, and you attack your own psyche, as if your belief system is something you can go and manipulate. Option 1 with me. Option 2, you give me churros. And the churro will just make you happy, and life will be like
let's go back
sunny.
to option number 1.
I prefer the churro.
No, but let's go to option number 1. But changing
the mind.
The mind.
Then I think that it does help going with a training with someone, for example, right? Going and learning new things will put you in a state of mind that is extraordinary.
That is different than the box that you're in on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Right?
Especially if you can actually find someone that knows enough to inspire you. That choosing that person is critical. And if you're lucky enough to find someone that really inspires you, that experience is gold. It's gonna stay with you vibrationally, like your frequency is gonna go up. Like you're gonna be happier just coming out like, oh my God, that was amazing. What a good use of my time. I learned and then psychologically you have now things that you can like think about, right? You're like, I'm chewing on them. Like it's extraordinary. I mean, finding a good teacher that you can go and spend some times with, I think is, in my mind, the biggest bang for the buck.
Right, it's true.
It's worth any time you spend on that, and money and effort and traveling and whatever. I think that is the best one.
So by doing those tricks that you're saying, like those, like journaling or taking trips or trainings or finding time for myself, that is going to affect my mindset so much that it will change it, or hopefully that it will change something in them. and I won't feel that burned up? Or
For a while.
are we so stuck in our ways?
I think for a while. I mean, so you have a frequency, a core frequency, a core self, a core vibe, a core way of being, state of being that you have, and you're burned out with your frequency, with your mindset, with your belief system, etc. You go for a week with an amazing teacher, you come back, it's like, oh, and then that frequency is gonna slowly you're gonna keep talking like the old person that talked before, acting like the person that acted before, going back to your ways, right? And
so
eventually
it's gonna run out.
you're gonna run. It's like gas in the car, right?
Right.
So you have a level of whatever. You go out for a week and you come like
full,
and then little by little, and then wee. Unless you get that level where you are, and you allow the experience to change you. You go with a teacher, and you see how that person engages her own practice, her own time, her own life, her own everything, and say, I am done with seeing life as I see it. I want to become a better version of myself. And you go, and you stay there. And then you'll never burn out again. But you can still have churros.
No. So let me ask you this, because when you, let's say you go take a training and you come back, and you have so many ideas, and it's either in those moments that people make a lot of changes. Let's say I'm teaching these classes here, I'm going to change my schedule, I'm going to make this, I'm going to, make some changes in their lives. Or they make some changes when they run out of that energy and they're at the bottom, at the lowest of the energy, emotionally, and you're like, I need a change. I need something that will, and many people do hit bottom, and then they make some changes. So is it better to do it when you're on that high? Those change, you come back, you're like, I'm going to do this, and I have these ideas, and I'm going to quit this place, or I'm going to start teaching here, I'm going to do this, whatever it is. Or when you hit rock bottom.
My opinion.
Yes.
My opinion.
I know you like to think about this.
Yeah. But I mean, do you remember that when we had the studio, right? If you change the location of the studio, just 1 block away from where you were, you close this location and you open another place 1 block away, how many clients will you lose?
At least 30%.
Exactly. So any change you make is risk. Any change you make. So when you come really, really happy and you feel like making all the changes, make them very slowly. Test them out.
Yeah.
Like put one thing in one class, see what happens, what the feedback is, what the reaction is from the students, who likes it. Maybe you have different classes in different places and they like different things, and you want to do 10 things. Don't change 10 things at a time. At once. Change one and then another. Be clever about it. When you rock bottom, you're like, fuck it. No, for real, right? That's the good thing about the bad times. It's like there's no risk anymore. I don't give a shit if this just goes to hell. I'm going to make the 10 changes. And if they don't like it, I'm out. Right? So that's the good thing about
So you're saying when you hit rock bottom.
That's the good thing about the dark side. That when you're like a rock bottom and dark and stuff like that, there's no risk anymore. There's no fear anymore. There's no judgment anymore. There's no nothing. It's like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm done. I'm done worrying about anything. I need the change. And I'm willing to pay any price. I don't care. When you're doing very well, right? Then you have lots to lose. I mean, your classes are going well. You have clients, you have students, you have a relationship with the studios. There are things to lose when things go well. So now, the dark side of the things going well is that you have to be careful because you may lose it. Right. So you want to be clever about how to do it.
Yeah.
But on the bottom.
So that's the good thing.
The yin yang.
That's the good thing.
That's the good thing about the dark side, and the bad thing about the light side, right?
So one thing that I did is, which is another
what
point.
You do?
Another point. I don't know. It's 3
I cannot think of anything else. You're like genius.
I think because I prepared my podcast. I brought my.
So I mean, I
brought my notes.
I knew you were gonna say the practice. I knew that one, the teaching or the taking classes from somebody else, and the churros. I mean, that is all I had. That is all I had.
But I usually at least once every other year.
Okay.
If not once a year, I would change my schedule a little bit.
Oh, like fire students when you have privates.
Like if I had a lot of privates, I would let go some of my privates.
That's a very good idea.
Because I mean, that is if you're in a position that you can, recycle your privates, right? I had no problem getting a lot of privates, and I had too few slots. I mean, you can only see so many people per day. Like 4 privates a day is a lot already.
That is a lot of people.
A lot of privates, right? So you're like, okay, I cannot see 5, so I have to choose. And if you do a good job, and with all that intention and all that energy and all that worrying about your student, etc., that's gonna happen to you too. I mean, it's not like, Carmen's so miraculous, and just you can do that as well. You genuinely care about that person, and you try to work what's best for him or for her, and it's gonna happen as well, right?
The teachers that actually last the longest, they have a combination of public or group and private classes.
I think that helps.
It's a very normal thing.
Because financially, the privates are just very consistent, and it's very good money, and they pay you with the group classes. I mean, sometimes you may have 4 people, sometimes you have 30. You're like, I don't know what's going to happen, right? So you really don't know. You cannot rely on the group classes that much. Or in special events like workshops or trainings that you may do. I mean, they may come, they may not come, or retreats, which is also a good idea to offer those, at least for the heck of variety, and just do something different. Like, I'm going to go on a retreat. I may not make a lot of money, but who cares, I'm going to pay for my expenses, and I'll make a little bit. It's fine, But I usually, like, every year I would let go some of my privates, unfortunately. And
unfortunately for them.
Unfortunately for them, I guess. And then I would stay with
the nice people.
The privates that I really enjoyed, or that made my life so much easier. Because sometimes, like, I had within the same street or the same 3 blocks in Chicago, I had like 4 privates, right? So they were just so close. And then the next day I would go a little bit further north or something, and then I would have all my privates there. And then the next day back to downtown. So it made my life so much easier. And I liked it. I liked that I didn't have to commute for 30, 40, 45 minutes just to get there. And then 45 minutes coming back. It's just so much. I mean, if I could commute from one to the next in 5 minutes, I mean, wow.
That is great. Quality of life,
Right
there.
So I really enjoyed it, and I try to optimize that so that I would make it so much easier for me, and just more comfortable, and just less commuting time and all that. So all of those things are... And so every year, every January, I would reevaluate. All right, this is how my schedule is going to look this year, and and throughout the year, you're thinking about, next year I'm going to change this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to tweak this a little bit. This person, it just cancels on me a lot. That's one thing about privates. Like, some people are not very serious, right, about it. And if you're not very consistent, then go to a group class.
True.
I mean, don't book a private time, if you're gonna cancel every other class, like, no thank you, so then I would also let go of those people or something. So it's the same thing. I'm like, I just can't work with you.
So
like
you're
that.
saying that to prevent burnout, make your life as comfortable and pleasant as possible.
Yeah
I agree.
But I mean, your teaching schedule,
I mean, this not only the schedule, everything. I mean, if you have 2 studios that you go to, in one of them there's nice people, the other one you don't like them, go to the one you like more. I mean, invest your time and energies in the place where energetically is more compatible with you.
Yeah, or
right?
find a new studio. If you don't want to teach at the same one place, and you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, and you want to teach different studios, I understand, but then let go of that one, and you'll find some other place that you can teach, you know. And there's always a lot of people that you can meet, connections that you can make, and you never know. You really never know. Like, you can go somewhere and teach a workshop, like it's happened to me. There was nobody there. Like, 5 people, 4 people travel all the way from the States, right? And then that one person that attends the workshop, one of those owns the studio, and they invite you to some other place, and then the next year you just have so many people in that studio, right? So you never know. You can always, something good can happen, something very good can happen out of that. But I'm like, whenever I'm committed, I'm like, okay, I have to teach. I'm going to teach the best class I can possibly do, and we're going to have the best time possible. Whether it's 5 people or 50, that really doesn't play in my mind any more than, okay, how much space do I have for everyone to
at
just,
the wall,
at the wall, or just working partners, or just that, like only like logistically, but not really like, oh, I'm so down because, it doesn't matter. Like, I never dwell on that. It's a very bad idea. It's
a good attitude.
You can think about, because then you think you have no control, and you just get into this victim mentality, like, oh, it's happened to me. Like, I only have these people. I have only 2 people attending my class today or something. And then you kind of feed yourself, from that the kind of energy.
Yucky energies.
And it's just like a spiral down. But it's like, okay, it doesn't matter. 2 people, 4 people, I don't care. I'm going to teach the best class. And everyone walks out like so energized. And like, I'm going to bring my mother, my sister, and my partner to the class next time. It's amazing. And then it grows always. It always does, You may lose some people, but it always grows. So that's the kind of mindset that you want to have. But it starts within you. Like, that energy, you have to put it yourself in the class. Like, you have to pour it quite a lot. And that's why it's so draining. That's why I say you have to practice yourself, just recharge yourself. You have to, go to trainings. You have to just do all those things for yourself. I also like to do, like, when I'm teaching, I also like to, you like that. When everyone is in Shavasana, I like to just ground myself and just let go of all the energies that I may have picked up from the class, from adjusting or something. And that, I know that sounds like so like so new age, like, oh my God, like energies.
Not in Mexico City.
From someone else or something. But it's funny, it's happened to me many times, a surprising amount of times, that I've been with someone, I've been teaching a private, someone that has shoulder pain, and then I have shoulder pain that day in my practice. Or someone has, gut issues and something, all of a sudden I have diarrhea. Or someone has knee problems, and all of a sudden my knees start acting up. And so there's something about it that you just pick up, and you don't want to
take home those energies.
So when I am in Shavasana, especially when I teach privates, but group classes as well, but when I'm in Shavasana, I just try to ground myself, and while everybody's with their eyes closed and everything, just kind of like letting go of that energy, just return it back to earth, or just return it so that it's not mine. Just let it run through you and just let it go. I think and because many times people are just very burned out with their lives as well, right?
Maybe that's why they go take a yoga class to improve their lives a little bit, right?
Maybe you also pick up that energy.
You're burned out because of them. Finally, so it is their fault. Now we have it. It is their fault. It is not you.
So
it's them.
It could be. I mean,
those burnout assholes coming to your class hoping to get a fix.
And so
them
maybe you are getting those a little bit of that burnout
makes total sense now. Makes total sense
from them a little bit.
Exactly. No. From them, 100%.
Because when you teach a class, sometimes you teach a class where everybody is super enthusiastic and they love it. You're like, oh my God, I love this so much. I love it.
You can come back, all of you.
But you're like, you can come back. I could teach this class for free.
That's how you feel.
I could teach it because I just love it so much. I could teach it for free.
Yeah.
But
then there's one asshole.
But there's
only
one.
One.
There's many times that's not the case.
And it's like, that asshole.
Yeah.
Get out. That's what you want to say.
And so you have to.
So you have to protect yourself from those energies.
Release that energy.
That is true. I mean, because it's it's a brutal business. If it's like so, let's just come in, because the barrier of entry is so little, right? You just do 200 hours and do a little bit like, and you can like move with pants and some tops and then do it. No, that's how it may look from outside, but you are dealing with people's bodies, right? And you're telling somebody that has, I don't know how many problems in their head about their own body, what to do with their body, and they are looking at yours, and you have a relationship, and you like maybe touching each other or not, because if you don't adjust, then you don't touch anybody, right? Maybe. So it is a strange relationship to some extent, that you go kind of doing things that are very personal with people that you don't really know, right? They came maybe 1 or 2 hours to your class, and you're telling them, do this, do that, try this, try that. So their vibes, their energies, their attitude, that as they come into the room are going to play a huge, I mean, every time that we go on in any kind of workshop, right? You can see that.
You teach the meditation workshops.
Any class. I mean, in any class, asana or any, you have people with a good attitude on the mat.
Right.
And you have people with, it is your fault that I'm having a bad time on the mat.
Right.
It's true. I mean, so you have somebody that at the end of the day, because we teach workshops that are pretty intense sometimes. We go like 4 days, 3 classes a day, and somebody comes in and says, your class was so awful, and I like and now my neck hurts. Right? It's like you give options all over the place before alternatives and you see that their decision making process was such where they got into a place where they can complain.
Yeah.
And you can see that.
I mean,
right?
I would have never chosen that pose for that person, but I'm not going to say you don't do that pose.
I mean,
because you're not ready. I mean,
that's the thing. How do you want this to end?
I don't want to sound that harsh on someone I don't know. If it was someone I would know, I would say, no, this is not. I'm not going to let you do that. This is not the pose for you. You know.
The thing is,
then they come back and they're like, "Oh, it's your fault."
It's your fault. So it's like the thing is not going to end up well. The thing is not going to end up well one way or another.
Yeah.
So you have somebody with a questionable attitude in the room, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know them.
Yeah.
Right? No, because what happens because we travel from place to place all the time. So option 1, you go and tell her, you single her out and say, "Don't do this, do that. You." Right? Wrong, bad. She's gonna get like offended or something. Option 2, she chooses the option that is too advanced for her, and then the next day the neck hurts. And again, it's you. So
it's a lose-lose situation.
It's a lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose. So
I've done both.
And you lose both ways.
And you lose both times.
So as a yoga teacher, as a professional of any kind, actually, you need to learn to defend your energies. Like this whole burnout, maybe you are surrounded by assholes. It may be. I mean, we're making like fun that it is always something you do and you blame everybody else, but it may be that you have an asshole.
A lot of people around you.
Some kind of asshole, one or many
toxic.
Around you, and they are assholes. We call them toxic now. When I grew up, they were assholes. Now they are toxic. You're not an asshole anymore. Now you're toxic. Asshole toxic.
Shut up.
The toxic asshole is teaching you to defend your own energies.
True.
It is an extremely valuable lesson in your life. You will never be able to get anywhere higher, more important, more successful, with more projection than where you are today if you don't know to defend the energies in the situations you have today. Period.
Okay, why do you have to make everything so profound?
Because it's profound, like churros.
It's so deep, everything. But it is...
Deep AF.
It is 100% yes.
See?
I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Like the asshole is there to help you learn something. The asshole is... and I'm not saying like, tell the asshole go fuck himself or herself, which probably you don't want to do that. But you want to learn to defend your energies. You want to learn to set limits. There are healthy limits.
Yeah.
These are my energies, the way I teach the class. If you don't like it, it's your fucking problem. I'm giving you two options. You pick the one that was too advanced for you. I gave you both, and you pick the wrong one. If you don't like what I'm saying, you say the nicest way you can. But if not, if they don't like it, go fuck yourself. It is a healthy thing to sometimes say, go fuck yourself.
It's true. You know, I had more points here, but
this is very good one.
This is a very good one, because we were just teaching a workshop, and I remember there was this guy, this person in one of the workshops, and he's like, but how do you make people do the poses that you tell them to do?
I send Moises,
and I was like, that is a great question. And it also shows me that you have not been teaching for a long time, but in the most loving of ways, and most loving and nice way. And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, it is their choice. I mean, I'm not here with a whip forcing you to do it or not do it. Everyone can choose whatever they want to do. But one thing that you can control is that energy in the class, the energy that you project in the class, in the vibe that you want to bring into the class. So if you are a very laid back person, all about dancing or all about like free flowing and on being very fluid, then that is going to create a certain outcome. If you're more rigid, more strict in your teaching, then it's going to create another atmosphere and another outcome. It's up to you, but just be conscious of what you are projecting, what you're doing. Don't think, I'm so mellow, and then you're very strict. And I've seen that in my studio, and people that were, I'm so strict, and then people were walking all over this girl, right? And I'm like, how can you be so blind? I mean, it's just mind-blowing that you're so disconnected with reality. But as long as you know and what you are projecting and what you're doing, then it's okay. But and I'm like, if you are asking me how I do it, I just do it very easily. You have to do what I tell you.
I'm going to make the voice. You put the voice. You do the voice.
Period.
The voice. That's the voice. You change the voice tone. Have you seen that? No. Your voice tone is like, well, how do you do it? I tell you what to do.
Yes, because I have been in that position so many times, and people walking all over me, and then people blaming me. Oh, my neck hurt, or I hurt my wrist because you made me do it. I'm like, I didn't make you do anything. So I'm going to own it now. Own the class and say, well, these are the options. This is what you can do. You can.
And then 1 second, and you look at her, right? You look at the person.
You can sit down, or you can option number 1, option number 2, option number 3, and then you decide whichever you want to do. But it's not an option to whatever. Like, for example, to sit down right now, you have to like do one of these variants, whichever you prefer. But it's very crystal clear with me, like what I'm about, and my energy, and just how intense I get sometimes in the class. So, but it may not work for you. Just you have to find your own persona when you teach. But I mean, you can't force people to do things. They're gonna do whatever they want to do in the class. So you have to understand that as well. And I think that was. And everyone was just very interested. There was just a moment. It was one of those moments that I felt that the class
was paying attention.
The worship could go in a complete different direction. Like we were all going to talk about ethics and society and how people behave in a yoga class,
like
and all that.
Toxic people.
And then talking more about handstands and whatever that we were doing. And adjustments and this and that. And I'm like,
let's see what happens.
No, let's just go. We need to go and deliver on what I said that I was going to talk about. But if there were more questions, then I would have answered that. But it is really, I don't know.
It's awesome.
It's very psychological.
It's very psychological. It's like an energy game.
It's like a
game,
time.
like a whole energy give and take. You give energy, you take energy. But sometimes done or in a polite way, right? Somebody comes in and asks you for energy, your
And
attention.
and it's not just with students. It could be just like the politics of being in a yoga studio with other fellow teachers and the owner of a studio, or if it's a corporation, then it's like, the policy of the company. So it's, that frustration and that lack of, I just have no space to create, I have no space to anything, then it could be that as well. But you cannot bury that symptom of I'm getting burned up. I'm gonna ignore it. It's just not gonna.
You're gonna last only so long.
It's not gonna go away.
You can bury it maybe once.
Yeah, and you're not gonna last. You're not gonna last. And the more you think that all these things that we told you are useless, the more burned out you are. so if I say no, that's not gonna work. Or like taking a weekend off or just practicing myself, that's not gonna work for me, then you are definitely very close to being terminal.
You may be hopeless by then. So one second, like, I understand now. So if you did not like this episode of the podcast, it's your fault, and there's a chance you're terminal burned out. I'm telling you. That's the conclusion, because we're getting to the time now, and just to make shit clear, you know what I mean? Because maybe I'm gonna say something and you misinterpret. Like, no misinterpretation. If you didn't like this, it's your fault.
No.
And you may be burned out. Be careful, because maybe terminal. Okay, I'm here for you.
Consider that the reason why you may think that it would not work for you is because you're really burned out, because it really works. It really works. Many of these things and tricks, and they really work.
So if you're really there, you need all of the things at the same time. You need a retreat with a great teacher, practice yourself, and churros. All of it,
and the diary, great
at the same time. You need to book that fucking retreat now,
and change your schedule.
Anything you want, because you're so burned out that who gives a shit? If you lose every class, who gives a shit anymore? You're like, we fixed it.
Oh my god.
Why
do we end up?
This is such pouring of wisdom and information and just knowledge. I'm
just not gonna say anything else, because
me neither. Because if you didn't get it by now, it is clearly your fault. So I'm done.
I'm not gonna say anything else, because you always get twisted and just explain it in a way that is not at all what I meant.
That's what I heard.
But it's okay.
That's completely what I heard.
It's okay. But I think this will give people some ideas on what to apply, what to work on to overcome or feel less burnout, less tired, and less fatigued and fed up with their teaching, etc. and all that. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
I feel I fixed all their problems.
Oh my
I feel
God.
satisfied with myself now.
I cannot. I'm just laughing so much. This hurts so much. My cheeks hurt already.
Okay.
Anyway, that was great. That was good. That was a good talk.
We're done now.
Yes, we're done.
Good talk. Good talking to you.
Thank you so much for listening. This was Carmen.
Moses.
And you listen to Yoga Burn. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.